Hello, I'm Nordos and welcome to my channel. Today I'm gonna make a quick overview of Kingdoms of Arda, one of the first announced and most anticipated total conversion mods for Mount & Blade 2 Bannerlord. I will also give you the latest updates on its development and an in-depth presentation of the new village scene I've made for this mod that has been recently included in the current development version. Now, if there is someone not familiar with Mount & Blade games, let me just briefly mention that this is a unique medieval sandbox video game franchise developed by a Turkish studio, Tailworlds. Their games are famous for a realistic medieval role-playing experience, while also having fully fledged global strategic elements. Epic battles with distinctive and individually AI-driven units, broad means of indirect geopolitical control of large parts of a fictional world with a simulated feudal society, functional economic systems, dynamic characters, and many other cool things. Mount & Blade games actually have it. Mount & Blade Bannerlord is a sequel to 2010's Mount & Blade Warband, which still hasn't achieved its final development stage. Inspired by the original Mount & Blade's incredible modded lifespan and a hyper-creative community, Bannerlord emerged as a very ambitious goal of making an ultimate sandbox-based modification platform that's gonna support all kinds of amazing total conversions. Kingdoms of Arda is definitely one of those. Started by elite veterans of Mount & Blade modding, this mod is led by a large collective of professional artists with a well-established workflow. Kingdoms of Arda is meant to be a scrupulous Lord of the Ring total conversion, focused on creating the Middle-earth in the wholeness of its diversity and detailed world-building, enhancing Bannerlord base game with a myriad of custom assets and even game mechanics. Among countless features, Kingdoms of Arda's team has announced a Middle-earth campaign map, over 35 new factions, new playable races including elves, dwarves, Dunedain, orcs, hobbits, goblins and uruks, new creatures such as trolls, ants, mamakils, wargs and many more, a story mode to follow the quest of the Fellowship of the Ring, as well as many familiar characters from the works of Tolkien in a vast sandbox simulation. All this is far from a complete list. If this is enough to make you excited about the mod, make sure to follow their official YouTube channel. The mod's progress can also be traced on ModDB page, and for the discussion you can head to the mod's Discord. You can find way more information about the mod and its features there, so I encourage you to check it out. All the links are in the description. It is very important to understand that since even the base game is still in early access, such a big mod as Kingdoms of Arda is going to take a few years to fully develop to its intended scope. With patience from both the developers and the community, we will slowly but surely get there. In order to set reasonable goals, the team stated that the first release will focus on East Gondor, Rohan, Mordor and Isengard. Some might say that there has been a hiatus in Kingdoms of Arda's development because of a certain infrequency of the published updates. As a part of the team, I can assure you that everyone has been working very hard. A large batch of progress is being withheld for a big preview that is coming. However, the team decided to resume showing the ongoing progress on miscellaneous mod content updates. Here are the most recent things that have been completed by the artists and included in the current Kingdoms of Arda build. Let's check them out. The Witch King and Nazgul made by Hakon. I mean, just look at these guys. The Ithilien Rangers models made by Avilium. Here we have Westfold Sergeant concept by Siegfried. Gondorian Civilian concept by Mithril. Mordor Orc concept by Dimas Kuba. And mod's first scenes are also available for preview already. The Walled Battle Map by Macbeth of Gondor. And Rohan Village Garsfield scene, humbly made by me. Now, this scene is something I am able to dwell on a bit further, since Bannerlord scenes and level design happen to be the main topic of the channel and the prime thing that I do. Personally, I am very enthusiastic about level design in a Lord of the Rings setting for many reasons. A lot of locations are very well specified in the source material, while others are brilliantly represented in Peter Jackson's movies. Some places, on the contrary, don't feature in the story at all, and this is a great creative challenge to imagine them. One thing is constant in every case. In my opinion, nature, and precisely the landscapes of Middle-earth, are playing one of the most important roles in the works of Tolkien, and you can never put too much emphasis on it when working on a mod like Kingdoms of Arda. So, for my first approved commitment, I was assigned to make a small Rohan hamlet on the brinks of Fangorn Forest. River Entwash, cascading from the slopes of that ancient forest, is already impassable near Gasfeld, where it takes a bend eastward. Misty Mountains are prominent from this location, and this is about as far as superstitious Rohan peasants would go in the fear of the living trees. Gasfeld Hamlet is specialized in breeding horses for the riders of Riddermark. This is how Garsfeld looks in the Lord of the Rings Online. I can't say that Kingdoms of Arda team relies much on this MMO for inspiration, but I humbly tried to take my time with the scene to make it a bit more detailed than that. Garsfeld is not among the most well-known places of Middle-earth, and there are not many sources that mention it. However, it felt like a suitable task for my first Bannerlord scene attempts, and it can also serve as a placeholder for several villages for the time being. This is actually not my first scening experience in Bannerlord. My first scene draft for Kingdoms of Arda looked like this, but that scene wasn't done properly back then, so I had to scrap it. I have also participated in Tailworld's Village scene design contest. You can see the results here. I really learned a lot from participating and also from looking at the things other people did. Even before Bannerlord, I did some scenes for such Warband mods as the Clash of Kings, Brittenwelde, and a few OSP projects. Making scenes for Bannerlord takes a lot of time, learning, and patience. It took me half a year to complete Gasfeld with all the breaks I took. Must admit, it's somewhat hard to maintain enough motivation at first, but as I learned, scening became a lot more fun and is now much more consistent for me. This is something I intend to persist with, because I have always been a huge fan of Mountain Blade modding. Learning Bannerlord scene editor is hard, and the work is painstaking. I believe that with each new scene, the quality gets better. And this is only the beginning. At the moment, we are expecting to get Rohan and Gondor building kits to start populating our locations with custom assets. I'm also preparing some basic prefabs, and I hope I'll be able to show you some more cool stuff soon. Middle-earth is a vast world indeed, and with all the planned locations I'm lucky to be in a team of very talented people. In fact, you can join too. There are applications for different roles continually open in Kingdoms of Arda team. However, more focus on recruitment will be made after the preview when it is released. Before that, don't get discouraged if your application doesn't get checked. Most team leads just need more time at the moment to work on their current tasks. If you'd also like to become a scener for the mod and design locations, the best way to do it is to subscribe to Macbeth of Gondor's channel and start watching his tutorials. And while I hope to get tutorials on more advanced stuff here at some point, Macbeth's YouTube channel is the best way to get started working in Bannerlord scene editor right away. Macbeth is not just a big Middle-earth enthusiast and lore master of the mod, but also he's the lead scene designer. As I've already said, the team behind Kingdoms of Arda has incredible talents. Credits for the music in this video go to Emil Moreland. What's great is that this is just a part of custom music Emil and other composers make specifically for Kingdoms of Arda. Every faction, region and game stage of the mod will have its own dedicated tracks, and you can also show Emil support by subscribing to his channel. If you just want to support me and what I do, here is a link to my Patreon. Your support will be very appreciated and is going to have a big impact on how much time I can invest in the scenes for Kingdoms of Arda. However, before you become a patron, please be aware, and I cannot stress this enough, that your funds are not going to go for Kingdoms of Arda directly, because there is currently no way this mod's team accepts any donations. By pledging me, you must understand that you only support my personal input in something that is done by many more other creators. But if you're gonna do it anyway, you have my unending gratitude. In my next video, I'm gonna reveal the next scene I'm currently finishing. It's gonna be Eastfold Battle Terrain. I'm also planning to start making tutorials, but this is gonna take some extra work, so it might take time. Hope to see you there still, and for now, we part until the next video.